Hey, YouTube. Well, we're back again. Hopefully, this will be the last one of my mini series. The reason I recorded them all in one day is it's easier to keep track of the story. I did make an error on my last one. I actually left Forestry Road 525 7 full days before my payday. Um, that's why this guy was so pissed off when I left. I actually sat in front of my friend's house 7 full days with full intentions to go to Ehrenberg on payday. I was there for Halloween, I remember distinctly. So anyway, on with the story. So I leave there. At the time that I leave there, everybody that I had met, I told about the RTR, I told them where I was going to be, I told them there was unlimited stay there. Nobody had to leave. You could be there all winter if you wanted. And that was my plan. And I got to tell you guys, I prayed every day that God would provide to get me there safely, that I could be there for free, park for free, and be able to save money to maybe get the front end of that rig fixed. Because if you remember correctly, I still needed 3 new tires. I needed 2, one on the back, one on the front, and that spare. Yep, and those tires were $150 with tax and balancing and stuff. Not including the front end. Okay, on with the story. One of the things that I did to keep me safe while I was out boondocking is there was one person the whole time that was in contact with me the entire time. Now, there were a couple other people that were in contact with me here and there. One of my cousins and a childhood friend. But my ex-husband knew everything. My ex-husband was with me the night that the old owner yelled at me over the battery, that yelled at me over not bringing the rig back so he could put the generator back on. He was there. He heard that conversation. He heard me be called names. He knew every time something dangerous happened to me. He was worried sick about me. And he told me constantly, Tammy, they're not your friend, they're not your friend, they're not your friend. So with that being said, always have somebody, I'm sorry guys, my neck is killing me. Always have somebody that's close to you who knows where you're at, what issues you're having, and the people around you. If need be, give out license plate numbers. So with that being said, on with the story. When I finally did hit Phoenix, I did stay with a family friend, a childhood friend. I've known him since I was 7, for a week. Now, during that week, another mechanic looked at that truck, and the same thing, don't drive it. But anyhow, I prayed. I prayed every day, God, please just provide for me. I need a place to stay for free. And I thought I was going to Ehrenberg. Please get me to Ehrenberg. Please get me to Ehrenberg. Please get me to Ehrenberg. Well, the night before I was to be paid and pull out, I was on Facebook and ran into a site called Camp Workers. And I went there. And at 6 p.m., I applied for several jobs in and around the Phoenix area. By the next morning, I had gotten 2 jobs. And I took one of them. But it's not Phoenix. It was a little town outside of Phoenix. But anyway, and still 120 miles away. So, but anyway, when I got this job, I had been here about 2 weeks when I got a message, no, a week, when I got a message from the old guy in the old truck. Where are you? He said, where at in Ehrenberg are you? Or are you in Quartzsite? I said, I'm in neither. I said I never made it that far, that I had taken a camp working job. Immediately this guy was interested. Where's it at? What are you doing? Can I get a job there? Now this is a man who had been a boondocker for over 30 years, who told me that he wouldn't work again for nothing in the world. He'd just as soon die. That was his life, and he had no intentions on working again. Would he do side jobs? Yeah, he would do a job here and there for extra money, but this man did not have the want to have a job. So at first, I was a little taken back that he wanted the email address to where I worked so he could apply. Because my friend Bob had found out that I didn't make it down to Ehrenberg, because he too was going, where the hell are you at? Bob wanted that email address. Now, Bob had a brand new travel trailer and a brand new truck, and he would have fit just fine in here. Bob never applied for the job. Bob never came, and I haven't heard or seen from Bob since. But the old guy with the old truck, pulling a half of a truck with nothing but junk on the back, decided to apply for a job here. Now, I told him several times that he probably wouldn't get a job because of what he drove and lived in. Not that I was being snotty, but I had to produce pictures of the rig I lived in and of myself before I could even get the job. So in other words, when I was offered the job, they asked for a picture of my rig and myself. This place has $100,000 rigs, $200,000 rigs, $500,000 rigs in it. This is an RV resort. It is not a trailer park. So finally, the third email, this guy tells me, or text message, he tells me, yes, she said just to come on down, that my rig don't matter. I thought that was strange, but I didn't question it. So I knew the day he was due in. He was due in after he got his Social Security check, and he was here early. He was here when I woke up. I was actually sitting outside of the rig doing a video when he walked up. He wasn't due here until 11 o'clock. I was due on the gate at 11. This dude come walking up at 9 a.m. The minute he sat down, the host who parked you was right here at my slab as well. And he kept wanting to talk to me. Now, I'm in the middle of making a video, and I paused it. If you guys look back, you'll see the video. And he said, I need to talk to you in private. And I said, just let me finish my video. Well, as soon as I finished my video, I came inside, I got a cigarette, and I was going to go walk with the host and see what he had to say. Before I could get all the way out my door, the manager of this place come walking up and told this old guy, you can't stay here. You told me that rig was not an eyesore. She said, it is beyond an eyesore, and you have to go. And then he replied to her, but I paid to get down here. And she says, and for that, I'll give you 7 days on property, and then you have to go. Now, during those 7 days, it was hell. He occupied and manipulated every minute of my time. Those were my only days off. I didn't get my laundry done. I didn't get my shopping done. I didn't get nothing done because this guy was up my butt. Not only was he up my butt, he had insinuated to several of my male co-workers that he and I were an item, which shocked my co-workers because they all know I didn't date. Okay? They knew I wasn't interested in dating, that I only had friends. So as he's being forcefully, that's my girlfriend, unbeknownst to me, I finally got, the fourth day, I got tired of it. And I told him, look, you can't come over tonight. In which he replied, you promised me a spaghetti dinner. So I told him, look, I'll make you that dinner. You come over, you eat it, you go home, you leave me alone until you leave. And I meant it. Because at this point, he had just really irritated me. It had gotten to the point to where I felt in my soul something was really wrong. Every time I would hold this little dog, he would pet this little dog, making sure to brush my breast. Not only that, he wouldn't touch this little dog unless I was holding this little dog in my arms. If the dog was on my lap, he wouldn't touch it. If the dog was on the ground, he wouldn't touch it. That, at one point, I said, don't touch the dog again because I know what you're doing. So anyway, mind you, I never let this man in my rig once. And this night that I had him for spaghetti was the first time that I let that idiot in my rig. And he sat here until 11 o'clock. I ended up doing a video of him singing a song. But it was almost impossible to get this old guy out of my house. Finally, I was rude. I said, you've got to go. You take your leftover spaghetti and get the hell out. I've got things to do. Finally, he left. And I kid you not, that night, for the first time since I had left this guy, my rig started rocking. Yeah. That moment, I knew who it was. That moment, I knew, oh my God, I told this guy where I was at. Oh my God, I wanted to stay here for a year. Oh my God, he will always be able to find me. Well, I avoided him for 3 days, and on the day he was leaving, he stopped by my job and was hateful to me. He said, since you avoided me for 3 days, I'm going to leave now and not say goodbye. I said, whatever. Whatever. Go. So, and then tried to guilt me about, well, I have no place to stay. Well, you're not staying with me, Bubba. I told him straight out, look, if you travel all the way down here and she don't hire you because of that shit you live in, it's not my fault. I've warned you several times to make sure she sees your rig. Now, inadvertently, one day my boss was leaving, the day after he left, and she stopped by and said, Tammy, I want you to know I don't blame you. She goes, it's my fault. She goes, after I had already told him to come down, as I did you, I asked for a picture of his rig and of him. The guy had one tooth, you guys. One tooth up front. And she said that he said, I really don't have a camera. And she said, and Tammy, for the first time since I've had this job, I told her, I will take your word for it. Is it an eyesore? His reply to her, it's not an eyesore, it's my home. She said, Tammy, at that moment, I knew in my heart that he wasn't going to be here very long. She let him stay 7 days here. The space rents here are way more money than he could have ever paid to be here that 7 days. She was very generous the way I look at it, because in all ways, he was fraudulent in everything that he said and he done to get here and get that job. Now, I know he didn't have the money. Sorry, he kicked the camera. And he had told me he didn't have the money to get back to Ehrenberg. And this was during the time when we thought Ehrenberg was still unlimited stay. So for the whole month, and I'm not kidding, for the whole month, at least 3 days a week, my rig would rock. It got to the point to where I had to tell my coworkers, look, if you see hide or hair of him, do not let him in. Trespass him. If you see him walk in, trespass him. If you see his rig in here, trespass him. Do not let him in. Because I kid you not, at least 3 nights a week for the month that he left, my rig, kicked it again. My rig would rock. So when I found out Ehrenberg stopped extended stays out there, you guys, I knew that come payday in February that my rig was going to start rocking, because he had to leave. He couldn't stay there. He could not stay there. And sure, true to word, the day after payday, I was laying in my bed. Sure enough, my rig started rocking. At that point, I yelled out, I know who you are. I know you've been doing this. I am taking out a restraining order, and if they catch you stalking me, they will hold you over 30 days in the county jail, at which time you will lose your Social Security. Because if you are on Social Security and you spend 30 days in the hole, you'll lose your money. Actually, I think it's a pretty good thing. Keeps the criminals out of our system. You know, that didn't scare him away. He did come back again. He came back after I got Halo. And I know it was him. I know it was him. Except for he couldn't get in my undercarriage. He couldn't get in any of my lockers. This rig had the locks changed. Yeah, he tried to pick it. He even scratched the paint right out front trying to get in the front locker. He sure did. But he couldn't pick it. Now remember, he used to work in a place that made travel trailers. Okay? But I want to tell you what was creepy. I knew that one night, the last time that he was here, that he crawled up my ladder and was on top of my roof. of this RV, of Halo. I heard him. I told him, I know you're up there. I hear you. You need to get down and go. I'm calling the police, and I'm also calling my friend Scott. He'll be waiting on the street for you to whip your ass when you come down off of there. The creepy part was when my friend crawled up there a few days ago to put the camera for the roof, the very reason we put a camera up there, he found footprints, and I kid you not, all around the vent that was between my bedroom and the bathroom. He found knee prints. He said it was like somebody had kneeled down and was either trying to get in that vent or look into that vent. That, you guys, is a stalker. The moral of the story is, and when they offered, as soon as I got Halo, one of the sister properties, 150 miles away from my very first camp job, the camp job he knew about, offered for me to go stay there and work for them for a little while because they needed somebody now. I jumped on it. And I jumped on it for one reason, to make this guy think that I had moved on, that he had finally scared me away, and he would never be able to find me again. But the fact is I can block him all I want on YouTube, just like the idiot who sold me Betty Sue. I can block him all I want. All that does is keep people from commenting. They can still watch my videos. That's right. So he knew that I had gotten a new rig. And I'm going to tell you what, he was here the second night I had her. I'm not kidding. I have since had the steps to my roof greased. Thing is I'm not going to tell which ones are greased, because if that guy climbs up them steps, I want him to fall off and kill himself. And I know that sounds mean, you guys, but he has tortured and tormented me for months on end. And the signs were there. I just never stopped to think about it. Any time that man did not know where I was, the rocking, the noises, the break-ins underneath my rig stopped. Any time he knew where I was, it happened. Do I think the biker is the one who opened my window that night out on Forest Road 525? No, I don't. I know who it was. I sure do. You know what? I wish I'd let him crawl in that window and shot him. Just saying. You know, I don't care how many people do interviews on YouTube asking females, solo females, do you feel safe? Have you ever been threatened? Have you ever been in a position where your life was in danger? They all sit there smiling going, no, they're lying. They're lying, or they're not boondocking. Because if you're not having a mental issue over noises in a new place, you've got somebody bothering you. You guys, in every society we have thieves, we have murderers, we have con artists. We have those out boondocking. Do you think just because they're out boondocking, they're a better character than the general population? Not. We get the same riffraff out boondocking, if not more, because probably 90% of them are running from the popo. So we get more riffraff out boondocking than we probably do in regular society. Are we safe in society? Safe as can be. But look at me. I live in an RV resort, and I still, to this morning, am dealing with being stalked and threatened. Nope, it's not by somebody I met out boondocking. It's by somebody I trusted enough to buy an RV from. You know, I stepped out of my comfort zone. I got behind the wheel of that Class C, and I tried to take that Class C back. This guy has done nothing but bash me. Claimed I left it on the side of the road. Claim I left it here. Claim I left it here. Never once thanked me for putting my life again on the line and trying to get it back to Vegas. It's been nothing but threats and innuendos and hatefulness. If he could get on YouTube and get through, if he could get out to you guys and make me look bad, he'll do it. He will tell you whatever he can. But the fact is I'm not the one at fault here. I did nothing to him but trust him and his wife. That's all I ever did. But, like he told me in his last email that he got through, he will do whatever it takes to destroy me. The police got that this morning. They got the phone calls, they got the messages, and they got everything from YouTube. And YouTube knows where it came from. They know this guy. They know this guy's been using other names. They know he's been using his own name. But you guys, the dangers are out there. They're out there whether you're boondocking by yourself with a mate or whether you're sitting in an RV spot. You can be in an apartment, in a house. The fact is, dangers are always all around us. You know, I told you guys a lot of times, I'm the first one to be gullible, I'm the first one to forgive, and I'm the first one to trust without merit. I simply have to change who I am sometimes and quit trusting people. I've given you guys a lot of tips on things to do to keep yourself safe while you are out boondocking. Use them, utilize them. Keep safe. If you believe in God Almighty, pray for that safety. You know, God kept me safe. He really did. He really did. And I'm so thankful. And I'm thankful that I got a camp working job. I'm thankful that I got Halo. I'm thankful that I'm not living in a mold-infested death trap. And I'm thankful that our society works to the point that I can make a police report, put out a restraining order, and know that if anything at all happens to me or where I live, they know exactly who to go looking for. You all have a blessed day. Stay safe and know that if you're going to embark on this lifestyle, have a weapon. If your weapon of choice is bear mace, have it. If it's a little pocket mace, have it. But you know what? You guys have heard this story. I had all of it. And trusted, the most dangerous one of all. I did. I sure did. I did. That's why now Halo has 7 cameras, surveillance cameras. And you know what? If you can't afford it, remember in the one video where I said take a phone, an old cell phone, and download the app Alfred? That was during the time he was rocking my house. That was during the time he was tormenting me. And when I left there and I hit that 525, it stopped. I quit using it. Don't stop using it. You never know when you're going to need it. You know, I just got back. I just got back here. And this morning, really? I haven't been back here 2 days, you guys. 2 days. It's amazing, ain't it? It's amazing. And I give God glory because He will keep me safe. He will protect me. And not only do the police in Arizona know about it, the police in Nevada know about it. I have cameras. Yeah. Stay safe. Get yourself a weapon. Get a dog. Train that dog. Have that dog attack trained. Save yourself. Do what it takes. Because if remember Chloe going off on that Amazon girl? Chloe knew. Dogs know. And even though we may fall gullible to a human's lies and deceptions, dogs know. I want to tell you, Chloe never got close to this guy. Never. That was the first man I ever seen Chloe get near that she didn't jump up, put her paws on his shoulder, smile in his face, and hug him. Chloe did that to every man she ever met, except this one. You guys are in my thoughts, you're in my prayers. If you embark on this lifestyle, stay safe. If you're a female, consider getting a camp working job. You still have all the freedoms in the world. I have jobs in northern Nevada for the summer. I have jobs in northern Arizona. I have a job in Montana if I want it. Oregon, California. Those are just a few of the jobs I've been offered and accepted until I decide where I want to go. I've been offered to stay right with this company. They have 10 properties all over the state of Arizona. You guys be blessed. Be safe. Remember to love yourself. If you love you, then you have the first and biggest hurdle of life right in your hand. And you guys, be careful of who you trust. Take it from me. Right now I have 3 people in my world that I trusted with my life. And they all turned out to be monsters. Be blessed. The end of this series is now done. If that guy hadn't rocked my trailer, hadn't rocked my RV, if he had left well enough alone, I would have never known it was him. But he just couldn't stop himself. Peace. Have a great day.